Are you gambling with your safety when you shop online? Today on Oz, it's called Recall Roulette.
You may be being sold products that have been recalled by manufacturers.
Is it putting your family in danger? Cameras confront one of the largest online retailers. Plus, Millionaire Matchmaker Patti Stanger on her surprise diagnosis.
What is this? I've never even heard of this before.
Women get it more than men.
Yeah.
Coming up next on Dr. Oz.
Big question, everybody. How safe are the items you buy online? Now, you may be being sold products that have been recalled by manufacturers, which can put you and your family in danger. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross confronted one of the largest online retailers about what he calls recall roulette. Think about that, recall roulette. And what he found would change the way you shop online. ABC News prepared that report for our show, and their chief investigative correspondent Brian Ross is joining us. So whose responsibility is it to protect the consumer?
Well, Dr. Oz, it's really the companies that make these products that are unsafe. It's their responsibility. But under the current law, there's no requirement about how much they have to spend, how much effort they have to make to get the word out about these recalls. So sometimes they're announced, you never hear about them. In fact, as few as 5% in some cases of the recalled items are actually turned in or accounted for. So there are lots of them out there, and the companies may have a moral responsibility, but very little legal responsibility.
So you showed us lots of items for kids. Obviously, that's a sensitive topic for a lot of families. You have the dishwasher. What other kinds of products are we talking about?
All kinds of appliances, children's items. Our consumer reporter in Chicago, working with me on the story, found in her own basement a dehumidifier, which is known to cause fires, burst into flames.
Goodness.
That's her job, and she didn't realize the product had been recalled. There are just so many recalls every year from the government, but nobody really hears about most of them.
So you mentioned fires, that's one danger. Obviously falling out of something if you're a kid.
Absolutely.
You showed the trunk getting locked in that.
Yes.
Give me a couple other examples of crazy things that might happen with the recalled item.
Well, these baby seats, cribs that collapse. One of the women we worked with, her son was killed at a daycare center when a crib collapsed on him. She discovered 4 other children had been killed the same way. And since her son died, 2 more in the same way. An item that was under recall, but no one had heard about it, still being used in daycare centers.
How common is that something's been recalled, the manufacturer did the right thing, as you say, puts the word out, yet the stuff is still sitting around in a daycare center in our basement?
It's all over the country, literally millions of units, millions of items, those various products in homes, and often put online for resale.
So help me, just, if you don't mind. This is such an intimidating concept. And I suspect the numbers I even heard in your little beautiful piece were intimidating as well.
Yes.
What should the average consumer do? How do they know?
It's hard to know because there's no requirement for the companies to get the word out. You can search, you can be vigilant. I always urge everyone, check it out, especially with children's items and appliances. If you work online, you can probably find it. But the Consumer Product Safety Commission, their new chairman, Elliot Kay, is doing a great job. He feels the real answer is that the consumers should be notified. All the ways the companies use social media to figure out what we want to buy and market to us, they don't use those same techniques to get the word out about the recalled dangerous items.
Let's change it today, everybody. It's up to us. So this Consumer Product Safety Commission has an online database of recently recalled products. The address I'm going to put at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to leave it there. Please write it down. Check the stuff that you have in your house, because if you don't figure it out, no one else is going to do it for you. And let's say someone sees that number right now, that website, and goes there and finds out they've got a crib in their house that's recalled, or dishwasher's not working, or a blender that's should be returned. What do they do?
Well, 1, you can take it back to the store where you bought it if you can figure that out. 2, I would say throw it out, get rid of it, and certainly don't try to resell it online on Craigslist.
All right. Fantastic work. Thank you very much. You can check out more of Brian Ross's 2020 investigations on ABC. I'll be right back.
Coming up next, Bravo's Millionaire Matchmaker Patti Stanger is here, dishing out solid advice on all your life dilemmas. Plus, she reveals a life-changing diagnosis she didn't see coming.
I've never even heard of this before. I was in a state of shock.
Next. All new Oz. She says she didn't know she was pregnant.
I got sick one time and I thought I had bad barbecue.
Until she went into labor.
You wake up from a coma and they tell you you've had a baby. How do they deliver that message?
Plus, bye-bye back fat.
The weight hangs from under. It's not pretty.
3 fast moves to banish annoying bra bulge, also known as back fat.
I got your attention now, didn't I, everybody?
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
Millionaire Matchmaker Matchmaker Patti Stanger spends her life helping others overcome their problems to find love and happiness. Today, in an exclusive interview, she'll reveal the surprising new health diagnosis she just received. Plus, what's the one thing she does every day that has changed her overall health and life? You're about to find out. Patti Stanger, come on out. You look wonderful.
So do you, handsome.
I'm so happy to have you on the show.
I'm so excited to be here.
Come on over. I got all kinds of presents for you.
Oh, goody.
So let's start off with some surprising news you got from a physician recently.
Yeah,
Things that some of you weren't expecting.
I blood test, got flagged. I have Hashimoto's disease. And I was like, what is this? I've never even heard of this before. I was in a state of shock. I mean, I needed you like yesterday. And like it only happened a week ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's like a really recent thing. And
Hashimoto's disease.
Hashimoto. Am I saying it right?
You're saying it perfectly.
Okay. And you know, I had a couple of doctors. You know, I'm one of those like you always teach. You know, to all of us, if you don't feel right with the doctor, keep going. Yeah. And I didn't feel right till the third doctor, and she really got in there and deep. Good endocrinologist.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Can I share with you and everybody else a little bit about what Hashimoto's disease is?
Yes, please. I'm excited.
Some of you probably have this and don't even know it. Hashimoto's disease is an autoimmune condition. So your body's immune system, for whatever reason, could be genetic, it could be lifestyle, environment, it begins to attack you. And one of the first places it attacks is in the thyroid. Women get it more than men.
I can't even believe this.
Here, now here's the purple gloves. I got these to match your outfit, by the way.
Oh, good. I like it.
Yes. Now, if I was a matchmaker, I would pick these gloves to use for you.
Aw, they're pretty. They're very romantic.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
There you go. Good color.
Aesthetically surprising. Now, what if you find this a romantic? This is a thyroid.
Oh my God.
That's what it looks like.
It's so little.
It's a tiny itty bitty
Yeah.
thing. It's located right about there, right there in your neck, right beneath where your voice box is. And go ahead and feel that.
Okay, it's like mushy, like liver.
Like
kinda.
liver.
Yeah.
So with Hashimoto's, because your immune system is attacking this, and as it attacks it, it actually knocks out the ability of the thyroid to make hormone, so you get hypothyroidism. That you've all heard of. You don't have enough thyroid hormone. That leads to dry skin, you feel slow mentally, your hair changes, you put weight on, your voice gets hoarser. Let me hear your voice.
It's, you know, it's been a little horsey, and I have been gaining weight, so. Yeah, I was panicked. You know, when at first I was like, wait, I ballooned up like 15 pounds in like the last, you know, like month.
What did you think was happening?
Well, I'm in menopause, so I thought it was just strictly my hormones, and I was gonna go to a doctor just for that, and then it just all came together, kind of. You know?
So a week ago you got diagnosed, so very recent. Are you on hormones yet?
I'm on creams and a pill. Just started the creams creams I started 2 weeks ago, and the pill I just started a week ago.
Is it changing your energy? Because you know, if your thyroid's not working well, it's like having a thermostat that's off.
Yes.
Not going to quite feel right.
I was sweating, I was hot flashing, I was irritable, which is worse than the patty melts you see on Matchmaker.
More than usual.
It wasn't a fun time, yeah.
Oh my goodness. So are you making progress with the program in general?
Yes,
Are you happy with it?
I'm happy with it. I feel like I found the right doctor, and that was the key, really. And she's a woman, so she's like my age.
Yep,
you know, a lot of people don't want to talk about this. You know, you feel uncomfortable, and they just want to rush you through. One doctor just was like, "Oh, you're gonna go on, you know, HRT and get out of here," which is human. You know, you can explain what that is.
Hormone replacement
therapy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa! I'm from New York. We check things out. You know, it's like because California was like, just take whatever I give you.
Now, before this had all happened, you actually had been on a pretty good program. You'd lost weight.
Yes, I mean, I lost 30 pounds.
30 pounds?
30 pounds.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
How'd you do it?
Well, basically, I spun and I was starting to exercise. My boyfriend was really into fitness, and if you have a guy that's into fitness, you better get, you know, busy.
Yeah.
We cleaned out the refrigerator. I learned to read the back of the bottles and all the boxes, and I started eating non-processed food. I went a little bit of paleo, but I do eat dark chocolate at night. Yeah.
There's something that is probably the most important move for any of us to make. And you know, so we can talk about exercise, we can talk about diet, but a lot of the battle's fought up here. What did you do for this, for the head?
I meditated every single day. I am addicted. I cannot believe I did not do this when I was in my 20s. A year ago, I got addicted to meditation. I went to Mirabelle Resort, and I just learned how to get mindful. Like, we don't slow down when we're in television, like, you know, we're going. The adrenals are getting screwed up. And I said, I gotta do something for myself. You know, as I age, it gets harder. So meditation was my salvation.
I love that you pointed out that this is a tip we all wish we do in our 20s.
I know.
If anyone out there in their 20s, 30s, 50s, 70s, 90s, doesn't frankly matter, meditation is a whole different path, and I love the fact that you found that. Now, you mentioned your boyfriend. Can I call him a boyfriend?
Yes, David, yes.
David, it's not a fiancé yet.
No, we're living together in pretty much sin.
Sin, living in sin. Good. He's a handsome guy. So there were a couple of years there where, although you were a millionaire matchmaker,
Right.
you actually were not in a match.
Yes,
a lot of pressure around
it was the worst time of my life. You know, because you're over 40, you feel like you can't find love. I first reevaluated my wardrobe and went to my best friend who's my makeup artist. What do I do to my hair and my makeup? I was phoning it in pretty much. And then I got online. I went on Plenty of Fish. You
went online?
I went online.
What you say to do, you did.
I used my book, all the tips in becoming your own matchmaker. I was like, I have to walk the walk because other people are going to throw me down if I don't. Yeah.
A lot of stress around that.
It was a lot of stress. It was a very tense period. And I got a good support system. I called on a lot of friends who were in my age group that were starting to date as well. Kind of formed a little singles group. It was nice.
All right. So you all know Patty's best known for handing out the advice she's giving to herself right now on Millionaire Matchmaker. So I didn't want you to leave without taking advantage of your expertise, if you're okay.
Oh,
I've got some
let's
audience
go.
members, whoever.
Let's go.
Life dilemmas of their own. And we're going to cross over and we'll just take, I don't know, like 7 or 8? No.
Go for it.
We'll take a few till you get hoarse. So where's Mary? Mary, hey, come on over here. You stand right here.
Hi.
So Mary, take it away, Mary.
Don't worry, I don't bite.
Nice to meet you. So I've been with my guy for about 5 years.
Okay.
And recently he's just having some issues in the bedroom. So
Ooh.
we've been avoiding it, and I know it's a delicate subject. Been avoiding it, just wonder how I can approach it to really try and discuss it.
The first thing I would do, and I'm sure you're going to agree, is take a testosterone test. Wouldn't you say that? Because sometimes they have lower, as you age, we kind of want to get more busy and they want to get less busy.
Let me throw some obvious stuff out there, then I want to turn it back to the emotional side. This is a big problem across America because women, when it's not working right with their guy, remember that the penis is a dipstick to health for a male, right? If it's not working right, it means something's not working inside of you, and you, of course, blame yourself.
Exactly.
You think if I was more beautiful, if he still thought I was voluptuous, he'd get aroused. It's not about that. Again, 80% of the time, it's medications, it's high blood pressure, it's cigarettes, it's alcohol,
stress, no
low
money.
testosterone, which is caused by all those things. So deal with those medical issues.
Okay.
You love them, right?
Yep.
So you want to be healthy. So the same thing that's happening down there is happening in his heart, his kidneys, everywhere else. So fix that first. Once that's done, then Patti, take it away.
Well, I personally feel therapy is a good thing. So you might want to get a counselor and talk about it, but also getting out of the house. When's the last time you went on a vacation with him?
Oh,
100
been a
years
while.
ago?
Yeah.
You need to get out of the city, go on a vacation. It'll increase the romance. You'll see.
Good luck to you.
Thank you
All right,
so much.
Vanessa, you got a question for us.
Hi, Patty. So my husband and I have been together for 12 years. We have 2 small girls, 6 and 4. He works at night, and he's off during the week, and I work during the day, and I'm off on the weekend. So
Okay.
we really need help to
Okay,
beef up our
what do you
romance.
do Saturday night?
He's working. He works at night.
So he works there's not one night he's off?
He's off Wednesdays and Thursday nights during the week.
Okay. All right, so we've got a situation where you got to balance it out. It's not about the quantity of the time, it's the quality of the time. Can you give yourself 2 hours and make him the priority that day? And maybe, could you talk to your work about leaving 2 hours earlier? And maybe you go in earlier, like we have these new schedules now, you can go in at 7
Okay.
instead of 9.
Okay.
And make him the priority for the night.
I could-
He'll love it. He'll
I'll
give you a
try.
lot of bling for that one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
One last quick question. Go ahead, take it away.
Hi, Patty. I'm single, and I've had this happen to me for a second time now. I've gone out with a guy 2 times, and I think things are going pretty well. And then he tells me about some illness he has. So I don't know if I should back off, and that seems cold, or do I kind of go for it and see what happens?
Well, I mean, you can't throw someone away because someone's ill. But how does he treat you? How do you treat him when he's ill? Maybe he's trying to tell you a story to see, his ex didn't take care of him, and he wants to see what you would do. Chicken soup goes a long way. Okay, I wouldn't be throwing a good guy away because he told you had a bad experience.
Okay, thank you.
I've enjoyed having you on very,
Oh,
very
it
much.
was so exciting.
Yes.
It's a wonderful time with you. You're such an icon to all of us.
Thank you very much. All right, you can see Patti on Millionaire Matchmaker Thursday nights on Bravo. Check her out. We'll be right back.
Next, open 365 days a year, 12 hours a day, and no appointment necessary. Have you ever used a walk-in medical clinic? They're convenient and can be found anywhere. But can medical pop-up clinics handle all your medical needs? And are they safe? Find out next.
Whoever said a doctor's visit isn't fun has obviously never been to the Dr. Oz show. Is that right? Make your appointment today. Go to droz.com/tickets and sign up for free tickets. Put a little love in your heart.
All month long, the ultimate guide to heart health.
The power to save your heart is in your hands.
All this February on the Dr. Oz Show.
Remember the spaces where video stores and big retail clients like Blockbuster and Border Books used to be? You all know those places, right? They're always in the right spot so you can get to them. Well, many of them are now occupied by walk-in medical clinics. They're open 365 days a year, 12 hours a day. They're convenient, they're ubiquitous, but are they safe? And can they handle all of your medical needs? I wanted to know. So I sent investigative reporter Elizabeth Leamy to find out.
When Nina punctured her finger at school, she went to the doctor. After a quick exam, she got an x-ray and tetanus shot. Now, here's the stunner. No appointment and no waiting.
Let's take a look.
This is not your typical doctor's visit. That's because Nina went to her local urgent care center.
It's the weekend. I didn't want to go to ER and wait so long, and I knew I could get in and be seen real quickly.
Walk-in medical clinics are popping up all over. Within a few years, there will be as many in the U.S. as Starbucks.
I come here because it's super convenient for me, and I also come here during my lunch break.
Now, even drugstores and grocery stores are offering their own version of medical clinics called retail clinics, where you don't need an appointment to see a nurse or physician assistant. Still, consumers shouldn't completely abandon their primary care physician because your PCP knows you and your medical history. Today, the key to medical walk-ins, knowing when, why, and how to use them.
Elizabeth Leamy is here. So have you ever actually personally used a walk-in clinic?
I sure have. A couple of years ago, my daughter was projectile vomiting, but her pediatrician was out of town. So off we went to the drugstore. She threw up there too.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was great. But the nurse, it was a nurse, suggested a strep test. Bam, she was positive. Sure enough, some kids get, vomit from strep. Who knew? But she knew.
Well, but you really need any kind of advice in that crisis. Let me ask you, who here has been to a walk-in clinic? Oh my goodness, just about everybody. Where's Nicole? Nicole, are you Nicole? Yes. How are you? I heard that you'd been to one, you had a story you could tell us.
Yes.
So why'd you go and what happened? Why'd you decide to go there instead of going to your doctor?
Because a lot of times with a doctor, you have to wait 3 weeks to get an appointment. I don't have 3 weeks to wait all the time. So you just go in, it's quick. One time I cut my finger, I needed stitches. I was in and out in an hour, and it was very easy.
And how did the stitches look when you were done, when it healed?
They were fine. I went back there actually to get them removed too.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the story. Here's the deal. In addition to the convenience factor of walk-in medical clinics being open on weekends and after hours and when you're away from home, many of you actually go to them because they're inexpensive. At least that's the reputation they have. So I wanted Elizabeth to walk us through how much it costs to go to a walk-in clinic compared to, for example, other healthcare options that historically we've been using. So start with urgent care. Let's say you cut your finger.
All right, so here's what we did. We took the Dr. Oz Show health plan available to the team here, major carrier, and we looked at those co-pays. Urgent care, where you'll probably see an actual doctor, get in and out quickly, $40 was the amount. Maybe a little higher than usual, but if you get in and out that fast, could be worth it.
For the convenience too.
Yeah.
All right, so how about a retail clinic?
All right,
explain how they're different.
Retail clinic, typically in a drugstore, grocery store, you might be seen by a nurse, $40 also. So here's where you'll spend more time and money. The ER.
Yes.
$150 for that copay, and the average time is 4 hours. So you certainly want to avoid it if you can.
Yeah, I think we've all learned that, right? For the honor of waiting for a couple hours, you get to pay a lot more money. But for the average person, may not be the right spot.
That's right. Don't abuse the ER because you won't like it. And finally, this was really eye-opening to me. The person you have chosen to help you with your long-term health is the biggest bargain of all. Your primary care physician, $25 for the copay to go see that person.
Yeah, I didn't realize this. So it's cheaper than going to the walk-in medical clinic.
Absolutely.
All right, so what's the advantage then of going to your primary care doctor besides the money over the other clinics that are out there? I mean, they're not open all the time.
Well, right, but they know you, they know your history, they know what medications you're on, they might pick up on subtleties that a stranger might not. And here's the thing though, if you do go to an urgent care clinic, don't be all sheepish and secretive about it. I felt like I was cheating on my doctor.
Yes.
Get the records from that clinic and bring them to your doctor so they'll be in your file for continuity.
Nicole, did you tell your doctor about your visit for your cut finger? I didn't. You didn't?
See?
And you're blushing right now, aren't you? That actually is a great point. Please tell them. That's the place where all your records live. And if we have an embarrassment issue that's hindering us from talking about things openly with our doc, we're destroying this precious covenant you have with someone who's dedicating their life. Even if they're not there all the time, they still care. Okay, now let's go back. I'm going to go through, if I don't mind, a very clear outline of who should go where and when, now that you know the pricing issues. Let's start with the ER.
Okay.
And the ER is sort of a cool spot if you work in there, and I do work in an ER, but not for everybody. So who should go to the ER?
Well, remember E stands for emergency. So this is for serious injuries. You cut the tip of your finger off, you break your leg, if you have severe chest pain or a high temperature, and high means over 103.
Okay. We're clear on this, everybody, right? Let's keep going. Primary care physician.
Okay, well, it's pretty obvious. This is the person you're going to see for that annual check-in, but also for chronic conditions that need management. Maybe you've got high blood pressure, diabetes, and persistent conditions. We women all know what a UTI feels like. Maybe you can get that diagnosed at a retail clinic, but if it keeps coming back, you want to go see your PCP.
And he knows what you got last time, and anything else that's going on, any tests that have been done, they'll know about, so they don't have to repeat them. All right, the retail clinic.
Well, remember, these are usually staffed by nurses, and many people say nurses are better at giving shots than doctors.
No, as a doctor, I'll say it. It's true.
So it can be a great place to get your routine vaccinations, also lab tests, and the easy-to-diagnose things that are pretty cut and dried, like that strep that my daughter had.
All right, and finally, there's this issue of urgent care. Who does this make sense for?
Okay, well, I've typically used them when I'm out of town, or they're a good choice for after hours, for things like, well, you haven't cut the tip of your finger off, but maybe you have cut yourself and you want somebody to see it, but it's not really an emergency. This could apply to animal bites also, non-severe allergic reactions. The key is to use these as a tool, so know where one is before you need it, so when you do, you can give it a try.
I love your investigative reports. Very well done, as always. We'll be right back.
Did you have a bad experience at the emergency room?
Last summer I cut myself while cooking dinner. It needed stitches, so I went to the ER and I was in the waiting room for over 6 hours. The amazing nurse who helped me made up for it though.
Tell us on Facebook.com/Dr. Oz. Next, buying chicken at a grocery store is not so simple anymore. Natural, free-range, air-chilled, organic. What do these labels really mean? And are they misleading you into buying something they're not? Learn how to decode the labels and shop smarter. Next. All new Oz. She says she didn't know she was pregnant.
I got sick one time and I thought I had bad barbecue.
Until she went into labor.
You wake up from a coma and they tell you you've had a baby. How do they deliver that message?
Plus, bye-bye back fat.
The weight hangs when under, it's not pretty.
3 fast moves to banish annoying bra bulge, also known as back fat.
I got your attention now, didn't I, everybody?
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
Walking into a grocery store and buying chicken used to be easy, but it's not that simple anymore. All these confusing labels leave you wondering, what am I even buying? So I asked Jack Bishop, the editorial director from America's Test Kitchen, to join us to set the record straight. So why do we need to make a change in how we're labeling our chickens?
Because it reads like you understand the words, but they do not mean what you think they mean. And so it's really confusing. They're written from the manufacturer's perspective to give them maximum flexibility, and they're not written to help us make good decisions when we're shopping.
Yet we think we are. That's what really bothers me, when you think you're doing the right thing and you're not. So I'm going to try and go through all this, but I'm not going to use any chicken idioms or cliches, although it's going to be tempting. We've asked the Oz Nation to be our eyes and ears and to go to their local grocery stores to show us what's out there. So take a look at the first issue.
Dr. Oz, I buy chicken about 3 times a week. I always go for the natural label, but I really don't know what it means. I assume natural means organic. It's a little bit more expensive, but maybe it means better quality and care for the chickens. Can you please explain?
So what does a chicken labeled natural even mean? Ask yourselves that. Natural. It sounds good. Jack?
Yeah, you think, oh, it's like if I were going to do it myself with 2 chickens in the backyard. Not quite. All it means is it's actually chicken. It doesn't tell you anything about how the chicken was raised. So you know there's no artificial ingredients, but it can still be pumped up with antibiotics and be labeled natural. It can be fed animal byproducts. A lot of chicken are actually fed something called feather meal, which is what it is, sounds like. It is, they grind up feathers from other birds and feed it to chickens. That technically can qualify as natural. It's a meaningless marketing term when it comes to chicken. Walk on by.
Can't believe it. I mean, honestly, it seems to violate the entire sense of the word natural, especially if you can use hormones and the like. Okay, the next label is one that I personally never heard of before. I wonder if you have.
I buy chicken at the grocery store every week, but I get really confused by the labels. Like this one, air chilled, that doesn't even seem like a real term. Does that mean they weren't frozen all the way? Is that even close?
So I don't know if it's close, but Jack does. So tell us, first of all, how is chicken normally prepared, the way we normally buy our chicken?
So this is the good news part. We're going to start with the traditional method. So when they want to remove the feathers, they have to put the bird in hot water, and then they need to quickly cool it down for safety reasons. So it goes traditionally in a chlorinated cold water bath. All that bacteria is swimming around, which is why they add the chlorination. In addition,
these are chickens right here. That's
those
a
are
chicken?
chickens, and that's a big bath of like
goodness.
a swimming pool, but a very cold swimming pool. And that is, besides the fact that it's just not appealing, it pumps the birds up with water. And so a 6-pound bird that goes into that bath can come out and weigh almost 7 pounds. And you're paying for that water when you buy a water-chilled bird.
That is stunning.
Yeah,
you're paying for water.
Yeah, and it makes it very bland. You know, if you think chicken doesn't taste as good as it used to, it's because you're tasting a lot of water.
So what is the air-chilled version? That's this over here?
Right, so after they remove the feathers, this is the other option. It's more expensive, but they put the birds in a super cold, minus 20-degree room to quickly chill down the temperature. So you don't get all the cross-contamination issues. There's no chlorine involved. And there's no water diluting the flavor of the chicken or making it spongy or really give it an awful texture.
Or unnecessarily expensive. So the air-chilled is the better way to go.
Definitely, if you see air-chilled, that's what you want to be buying.
All right, let's go on to the next Oz Nation video.
Hi, Dr. Oz. I buy chicken at the grocery store at least once a week. I get so confused by the labels. When I see the free range label, I picture happy little chickens running around on a farm, being free, not stuck in a dirty cage. Is that right?
I gotta admit, the free range label seems to inspire images of chickens playfully enjoying a beautiful farm, enjoying their lives. But you say that's too rosy a picture.
It probably doesn't mean what you think it does. The regulation means that the bird has access to the outdoors. And in reality, that means there could be 10,000 chickens in a barn with a door that they never use. But they have access to the outdoors and can be labeled free range because in theory they could go out. But it could be that that chicken was never outside a minute in its life, and it's still labeled free range.
So we're left with the gold standard, the word organic. Is that what you pick usually?
Yeah, organic tells you a lot about what it was fed, so no antibiotics, no animal byproducts. It's eating corn and soy. It's telling you it does have access to outdoors. It's telling you it's raised and slaughtered by certain humane practices. And organic is really a very tightly regulated term and is a good term, and if you see that, it's a good sign.
Yeah, it can't be genetically modified either.
Can't be genetically modified, fed corn and soy, healthy products.
And I hope you're all proud of me. As I promised, I have not given a single chicken cliche this entire time. How about that, guys? So, I hope at least I got to the meat of the matter. And you take away even just a little nugget of information, I'll be happy, because a little birdie told me that these labels can leave you just feeling scrambled. Head's not functioning. And I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, so before you all fly the coop, cross the road, or leave the nest, I want you to go to DrOz.com for the complete breakdown, all the information on chicken labels. I hope you enjoyed my little yoke. I'll be right back.
Dr. Oz is bringing healthy back, and he wants to know, do you ever go organic?
We do when it's not too expensive. I just make sure to follow your advice. We all feel much healthier.
Share your story and learn more on Facebook.com/Dr. Oz. Coming up next, are you always tired, drained, and run down? There's a new way to end your exhaustion. Learn how holistic methods may hold the answer. Natural energy boosters from morning till night to beat your fatigue. Coming up.
If you're tired, drained, and just run down, you're not alone. But today, a new way to end your exhaustion. Dr. John Douillard is back with the holistic secrets to beating fatigue. So why should folks be looking at holistic secrets for the fatigue that plagues us all?
You know, when people are tired, they seek stimulants, dark chocolate, coffee, energy drinks, comfort foods, and yeah, it gives you a lift, but what goes up must come down. And every time you crash, you're more tired, and you crave a bigger stimulant for that same energy high. And when you crash further, and you keep going further and further into debt, you become more exhausted. So to solve the problem, you got to pay back your debt, right? And then also, you have to strengthen your digestion because we all know that we get our energy from the food we eat. So those are the two fundamental things we're going to talk about today.
So let's get to Dr. Diar's holistic fatigue fighters. The first is one that you want everyone to start the day with. It's called an Ojas drink. An Ojas drink is an ancient Ayurvedic energy drink. Please explain what it is and how we should take it correctly.
Well, interestingly, in Ayurveda, the digestive process takes 30 days to complete. So at the end of that 30 days of digestion, they produce a substance called ojas, which means vitality. It delivers energy, immunity, makes your skin glow and radiance. And there's foods that actually build ojas up, and it's an old ancient recipe for energy.
So what is it specific? I'm curious about.
Well, you've got coconut and you've got almonds here, which are great essential fatty acids for energy. You've got dates, which have lots of iron in them. You've got saffron. There's tons of studies that show that saffron actually supports mood, better sleep. And in one study, it actually cut cravings by 55%. So you take...
Saffron did?
Saffron did, yeah.
Why?
It comes from the crocus flower. And then you take those and you put it in hot milk with a little bit of ghee and you bring it to a boil. And milk has been shown to have peptides in it that actually lower cortisol to help de-stress you. So you can take this drink.
This is really good.
Isn't it good?
Not just a little good, really good.
Really good.
And coconut's a little chewy too.
And you can take it in the morning for energy, but the key, you take it before you go to bed and you sleep like a baby. And most energy drinks, you take them before your bed, you're wired for sound, right? So that's how you know it's a good energy drink because you can take it in the morning and at night, and that means you're paying back the debt.
We'll put the specific recipe on DrOz.com. This is worth doing a little experiment on. Okay, the next holistic secret to eat fatigue is to add 5 key digestive spices throughout the day. Jody is here.
Hi.
And before you talk to Joy, Jody's a stressed out caregiver who says she actually turned to these holistic secrets to beat her fatigue. But please explain what these spices are and why they're so critical, John.
Well, you've got 5 classic Ayurvedic spices to strengthen digestion. You've got fennel seeds, coriander, cardamom, cumin, and ginger. Those are the 5 classic spices. When you put them all together, they actually reset every aspect of digestion.
Jody, most people are intimidated by having a spice rack like this, much less looking like a spice market. How did you get past that and start incorporating these in your
There's
foods?
absolutely no reason to be intimidated. Look at this beautiful selection. They smell wonderful. They energize you. Simple things you can do. You can take fennel, put it on your cabbage, put it in your soups, put it in stews, in breads as well. Cardamom, if you can use cardamom for replacing cinnamon as well as cloves.
Mm-hmm.
You can use cardamom for meats. You can use it for rubs even.
So you actually made this part of your life every day.
Absolutely. It looks colorful, it smells great, it's invigorating. Many of these have heating properties. Yeah. So it's like caffeine.
You're like having
little
an expert
kick.
on this show. I really appreciate you coming.
No,
It's fantastic,
thank
Joy.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next holistic secret to fight fatigue is hydration. Listen, we've talked about water a lot, right? And we always say that you need to drink a lot of it. You actually say it's imperative to drink 8 ounces of water 15 minutes before a meal. Why is that so critical?
Right. So one of the reasons why we get tired is because we don't digest well, and that starts with digestive acid. So if you drink a big glass of water before the meal, 15 to 30 minutes before the meal, you'll prehydrate the stomach lining, allow the stomach to make acid and digest well.
So we don't learn this in medical school, but it is sort of an intriguing concept. Here's the basic idea. Imagine you take this glass of water that you drink and you put it in a paper bag. That's what most people think their stomach is like, right? Just a sack. It's not. The stomach is much more like this cloth here. It's relatively impervious to water. So the water goes into the stomach and it infiltrates in just on top of the layer and protects the stomach from the acid you're making. And by doing that, you can actually make more acid. More acid means you can digest more effectively until you've got a wonderfully hydrated surface that protects you from the acid so you don't get stomach pain and indigestion, but allows your food to be appropriately digested in the stomach, which is what I'm taking away from this. Right. So let's go to the final fatigue fighter. This has to do with how you sleep. Imagine this, how you sleep can affect how you digest because you're doing it hopefully for 8 hours a day. And theoretically, you should be lying on your left side. Why is that important?
Well, when you eat your food, you should relax. And after you eat your food, you should also relax. And if you lie on your left side, the stomach is actually cradling the food, allowing it to digest, the acid to do its job, and then release out of the stomach when it's ready. If you stand up, run, lie on your right side, you actually get the food to release prematurely. It causes indigestion, doesn't deliver the energy.
I appreciate all your advice.
Thank you.
You can find more holistic secrets to beating fatigue in John's book, The 3-Season Diet. Be right back.
Tell us, how do you naturally and holistically combat fatigue?
I take a walk. It sounds counterintuitive, but as soon as I feel drowsy, I get up and walk. It gets my muscles and mind pumping.
Share your remedies on Facebook.com/Dr. Oz. All new Oz. She says she didn't know she was pregnant.
I got sick one time and I thought I had bad barbecue.
Until she went into labor.
You wake up from a coma and they tell you you've had a baby. How do they deliver that message?
Plus, bye-bye back fat.
The weight hangs from under. It's not pretty.
3 fast moves to banish annoying bra bulge, also known as back fat.
I got your attention now, didn't I, everybody?
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow. All new Oz. She says she didn't know she was pregnant.
I got sick one time and I thought I had bad barbecue.
Until she went into labor.
You wake up from a coma and they tell you you've had a baby. How do they deliver that message?
Plus, bye-bye back fat.
The weight hangs from under. It's not pretty.
3 fast moves to banish annoying bra bulge, also known as back fat.
I got your attention now, didn't I, everybody?
All new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
So I'm always on the lookout for new cold and flu fighters, and wait till you see what I found. There's a brand new study showing that hugging may increase your immunity and help protect you from getting sick. So let's take a look at some of my best immune boosting moments over the years.
I'm gonna hug.
You got a hug?
Yes, please.
Let's meet you. I'm gonna say you are cancer free. God. Oh my goodness. God, you're close. Now, you probably don't need that many hugs, but then again, maybe that's why I have not had a cold in years. Literally, I thank you all for giving me all those hugs. Now it's time for In Case You Missed It. First up, we had Millionaire Matchmaker Patti Stanger with a surprising new health diagnosis she just received just this week. It's called Hashimoto's disease. It's a condition where your immune system attacks this. That's what your thyroid gland looks like. Now, the normal thyroid produces hormones that help control how your body uses energy. And the thyroid member is located up in your neck here. In Hashimoto's, it's located up like this. In Hashimoto's, that thyroid gland becomes irritated, and because it's irritated and being attacked by your immune system, it becomes underactive over time. That causes something called hypothyroidism. You've heard of it. Many of you actually got it because of this problem of Hashimoto's. Patty just couldn't figure out why she was gaining weight and why she wasn't sleeping through the night. Problems that are very common to a lot of folks. She thought maybe it was menopause, but turns out it was not. And once she received the diagnosis, she was finally able to get the treatment she needed to get her body and her energy back on track. Next, we talked a little bit about chicken labels, like, for example, free range or all natural. They make you think of a beautiful farm, bucolically out there, that rosy picture. It's not exactly reality. Unfortunately, we're going the opposite direction frequently with a lot of the livestock. Your safest bet is to buy organic. That is the gold standard of chicken labels. The other ones don't mean a lot. It means the chickens have access to outdoors, are grown without antibiotics, and are genetically not modified. Finally, be careful of dubious people online that make it seem like I'm endorsing their products, because I do not. To see a full list of our trusted sponsorship partners, please go to DrOz.com, and I'll see you next time.